Hi friends, it's Amy Frillici with the Gathering Inspiration Stamp Studio, and today I want to show you how to make this beautiful, it's like a fall sunflower card, kind of a watercolor look. I was talking with someone the other day who does watercoloring. She was kind of amazed at how stamping, can give that look without kind of all of the effort of truly watercoloring. So I think that's pretty awesome that our stamps kind of allow us to be artists like that, which is probably one of the best parts about this. Not necessarily having to be super crafty or creative, and yet you can make these gorgeous projects, excuse me. So, all right, I want to show you, this is our new holiday catalog. It just started September 1st, so super exciting. Lots and lots of awesome product in our 2017 holiday catalog. What we are working with is on page 49, so toward the back of the catalog. This is the Painted Autumn Suite, and you can see some gorgeous projects that the Stampin' Up! Artists have designed for us. And we are actually doing a true case, copy and share everything of our annual catalog. So can you see that's the card that I'm going to show you, and it says it's quick and easy, which it really is. Actually, this is really cool. I don't know if you've noticed this, but in the catalog, you see it says you can make it with the Painted Harvest stamp set, and I'm going to show you that in just a sec. And it tells you that you need crumb cake and very vanilla cardstock, and then ink pads in crumb cake, crushed curry, early espresso, garden green, and I actually used Daffodil Delight ink in here also, and I'll show you that in a sec, and then solid baker's twine in crushed curry as well. And I'm going to show you a little bit different technique for that too. I want to show you something that I had fun doing. But anyway, let me show you. I'm going to kind of put this back down here. This is the Painted Harvest stamp set that we are going to use today. Just a gorgeous, like I said, I love the sunflowers that you can make with this stamp set. And then the acorns are really cute, and the leaves actually coordinate with our leaf punch. So let me show you. There are other sentiments. That this one says, your kindness means so much more than you will ever know. Here's another one that says, gather together and give thanks. Perfect kind of fall Thanksgiving theme. And then we used this stamp right here that says, I am thankful for you. They actually are bundling the Painted Harvest stamp set and the leaf punch. And look for those little circles that with the little ornament that says save 10%, because when they bundle those two together, they give you 10% off the combined price of those two items. More fun stuff that's in this suite. They're including the Touches of Nature Elements, which are actually something that we've been able to get in the annual catalog for a little while, but obviously it's perfect. These are great, like kind of a fall inspired embellishment. And then I'm going to actually show you a fun trick with our 5/8 inch burlap ribbon today. I'll show you that in just a little bit. We are not using the Painted Autumn Designer Series paper, but it is beautiful. I don't know if you can see. And a lot of times in the catalog, the colors are a little bit more muted than they really are on like the live cardstock. So I kind of encourage you, sometimes maybe they don't catch your eye, and then I'm telling you what, as soon as you see them in person, you're going to like really appreciate the fact that you got that Designer Series paper. And then another great thing that Stampin' Up! Has been doing for maybe a year or two now, they are making cardstock packs. So this is the Painted Autumn cardstock pack. You get 24 sheets like you always do for $8, but they pick they give you 8 sheets in 3 different colors, kind of the primary colors that are in the Designer Series paper. So in this case, they're going to give you 8 sheets of crumb cake, early espresso, and garden green cardstock, and they actually show them right there too. So that way, because otherwise you have to get 24 sheets in a full pack of each of those, and sometimes you don't need that much cardstock. So I think those are great. Watch for those. With any of our Designer Series paper, they're always doing cardstock packs now too. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's see, what do I need? I want to show you my measurements because I tend to kind of get off to the races and doing my thing, and I forget to show you those. So as always, our card is starts with an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock. So here's our 8.5 by 11. We cut it in half at 5.5, and then we score it in half at 4 1/4 to always make our nice crisp fold on our card. Okay, I'm going to scoot this guy. Actually, I'm going to scoot both of them out of the way because the other piece, can you see it's just kind of a nice little layer around there? And the kind of good thing about doing this is you're not going to ruin your card base. So if you don't like how you stamp on this piece, turn it over. And if you don't like that, grab another piece. So I think that kind of helps you save, you know, and plus it kind of gives a little bit more dimension to the card too versus stamping directly on the card. That's a pretty, you know, there's obviously not a lot of dimension when you stamp right on the card base itself. So this piece measures, let's see, 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And then I've got this other little baby guy that we're going to stamp our sentiment on, and he's just a little 1-inch strip. So 1 inch by 2.5 inches. And that, you got to work hard to get that centered right in there, but it will work for you. So I'm going to scoot those out of the way. I'm going to grab, this is my Stampin' Pierce mat. You can see I've pierced it quite a bit, but it works really well with our photopolymer stamps. We were having a little bit of an issue. We made this card at our customer appreciation event that I did down at the Gathering Inkspiration Stamp Studio the other day, and we were having a little bit of an issue with our photopolymer stamps, and I know a lot of it is because I have plastic tables down at the studio, and they tend to, you know, you can kind of press, they have too much give to them. So this is a good trick. Just put, and since I'm going to kind of stamp off the edge of my cardstock, I put it underneath. I'm going to scoot that up a little bit. That way you don't get ink all over. You can see it's happened and it's not a big deal. But if I think of it, I kind of try to remember to put it underneath my work paper so that I don't get ink all over it too. So we are going to start with our Daffodil Delight ink. What I think they probably did in the catalog, because they said they just used crushed curry ink, they may have inked this up and then stamped it off on the scratch paper to make it a little bit lighter. I think inherently this stamp does stamp a little bit lighter, but I kind of liked just using another color ink. So that's what we're going to do. So I've got my, this is the Daffodil Delight ink. Like I said, actually I'm going to put it right over here because I want to be able to ink it up pretty well. But I need to have my, here, sorry, you can't see what I'm doing, but I need to have my example so I don't screw it up while I'm doing this for you guys. Okay, so we're going to stamp that one right about there, press down, and you can see it's pretty faint. And that's okay because that's kind of the beauty of that watercolor look, but I am inking it up pretty well. I'm going to stamp one more right here, and then and we're going to fill it in with that crushed curry ink. You'll see it all comes together, even though you're kind of feeling like maybe it's a little bit too faint right now. Okay, so that is our Daffodil Delight ink. Then we are going to grab, this is the crushed curry, so a little bit deeper, a little bit more mustardy looking almost. And I didn't worry there. I didn't even actually really look in the catalog. I'm trying to see. They don't really. Isn't it? I probably should have looked at that a little bit more before I started this. But can you see, I was kind of trying to line up the two little holes there to see if they line up, and they kind of do, but I think that's also the idea, is that you're not supposed to have them line up perfectly. So spin it around how you like, and straight down and straight up. You see how that adds? Actually, that worked out really well, didn't it? I did get it lined up, but it adds so much. Whew, isn't that cool? Just so much kind of texture to those sunflowers already. Okay, so next step, and this is really cool. Can you see? So this stamp right here, it's almost like they've smudged it off a little bit, so it kind of leaves that white center inside the Early Espresso stamp. I just think that's so cool how they, you know, how do they do these things? I don't know, but it sure looks good. Okay, so this is our Early Espresso ink. Line that up in there. And I didn't worry, you know, if you saw a little bit of white around some edges, I think that's okay. I mean, that's again, that watercolor look, that it doesn't have to be perfect. It didn't bother me at all. That's, you know, I don't know what, sun shining through the flowers as it's setting or something maybe. Okay, so now we're gonna use our garden green cardstock and we're gonna stamp our leaves. Get that guy going. So always the nice easy tap, tap, tap. I'm gonna press straight down. You can see I got a little bit of ink right there. I must have kind of rocked. If you do that nice easy tap, 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 you shouldn't rock too much and get that ink on the corner, because if you press too hard, you're going to get that ink that's in the corner of your stamp on your cardstock. So you want to be careful. You never, I've seen people, you know, grab their stamp and they're using their whole body weight. So it means you need to move to a different table, put a pad underneath it. At my studio, I always tell them to move to the ends of the table where the legs are, because there's a little more support. So you should just never have to use all your body weight to stamp. Or maybe you need to add more ink to your ink pads. Maybe there's just not enough ink on there. So, but it should always be the nice and easy tap, tap, tap. Okay, this is our crumb cake ink, and this is just kind of, just to add a little bit of texture. And I'm gonna kind of, oops, didn't quite get that where. We'll do another one there. Just to add a little bit to our card. I'm gonna sprinkle those around a little bit. Maybe one more down here. There, okay? So, oh, isn't that gorgeous? I am just so in love with this stamp set. We're gonna have lots and lots of fun with it this fall. So the last thing I'm gonna stamp is that little strip of cardstock that says, I am thankful for you. So again, nice, easy tap, tap, tap. I'm gonna turn that over. I think I like that side better. Hopefully this works out all right. Okay, I'm gonna press straight down, lift straight up. All right, looks good. Now we can put our card together. So I'm gonna move, we don't need this guy any longer, so I'm gonna scoot him out of the way. And this is the other trick that I wanted to show you guys. So we actually, like I said, we made this card at the customer appreciation event down at the stamp studio the other day, and I ran out of crushed curry baker's twine. So that's the other reason we're not using that, because I don't have any of it. But I think this is such a cool trick. So this is with our burlap ribbon, and I actually realized I'm at about the end of it, which is gonna be fine. So here is the fun trick, because sometimes I think our linen thread is a little bit too thin. So what you do is, I can almost kind of pull that, but we're gonna kind of pull these apart. If I get that, if I cut, and then I just kind of, sometimes it takes a little bit there. You can kind of see that one. Sometimes maybe you have to cut the whole edge off. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm gonna keep, so with my paper snips, I'm just kind of, can you see how I'm right along that first seam there? So I'm getting kind of that outside edge. And this is really, actually, this is almost like two pieces. Ooh, we could use this right here. Look at, oh, it's like it curled too. Isn't that so cute? Yeah, so we can use these right here. I was originally thinking we'd peel off the next strip, like this guy right here, but these are gonna work really well. Okay, so we're just gonna keep cutting. This is gonna take me a sec just to get through this, but we're getting there. And I'm just gonna do the whole thing, because this is one of those times when you do have to kind of overestimate. Usually I keep the ribbon on my bolt, so I don't have a strip that I'm actually working with. That way then I can kind of pull and get as much as I need. But in this case, and you get a bunch of those little fibers all over the place, so you got to clean that up later, but that's okay. So we are just gonna separate. So this was kind of the edge, the seam of it, and there are two of those. Can you see what's left though too? So I could keep kind of pulling this and pulling and pulling and pulling. So you might get, I don't know, what, 8 or 10 different strips, but they're quite a bit thicker than our linen thread. That's why I like to use them. Okay, so I'm going to find the ends here. So they just give it a little bit more texture. The linen thread sometimes I think seems a little bit wimpy almost. Actually, I got, there we go. Get the two different ends together. Okay, so we're going to get that going there. And so I'm just putting those two strips together, and I am going to tie a bow around here, and we'll trim the ends, and that is not going to be a big deal. Yeah, that's really long, isn't it? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pull it this way a little bit. Okay. So I'm just making a bow. It's funny, people always say, how do you make a bow? And then I just kind of start doing it, and I forget to give instruction, but literally it's just tying a bow. I think a lot of it is just practice, 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 practice. Oh my gosh, I love this. Oh, I'm really excited about it. See how kind of curly and fun it is? It's like having curly hair, which I don't have, so maybe that's why I like this so much. Oh, I love it. I love it. Okay, so then just carefully. You don't want to pull too hard or you might kind of rip your cardstock there. Oh, geez, it's not really... There we go. It's not cooperating with me very well. Okay, so we're gonna get that kind of over there. Okay, I'm gonna cut the ends of this one right about there. I'm gonna trim these off just a little bit, and then we're gonna use I'm gonna use fast fuse. Okay, this is driving me crazy, guys. I gotta get that stuff out of the way because that's gonna be all over everything. So yeah, when you go to do this, maybe pull that off somewhere else so it's not on your work surface. I think that's gonna be all right, right? I keep kind of playing with it. These are the ones I want to pull a little bit more. I want that loop to be a little bit bigger. That one's gotten too big. Okay, that's enough screwing around with that. Okay, all right, so now I'm going to use my fast fuse along the back here, and I'm going to put quite a bit on because I don't really want this to come up off of our card base. I think I'm happy with that guy there. Okay, so now I'm going to put this one on here. Oops, and be careful because this fast fuse is really sticky. So if you don't get it where you want and you press down, it's too late to change it. Okay, so last step is our little sentiment. We're going to put a couple of dimensionals on the back of him, and we're going to add him to, oops, yeah, that's okay, he won't show. Add him to the back of our card. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put one more on. There we go. Okay, so got our dimensionals, got those on the back of our sentiment. And actually, I do want to scoot that up a little bit because I want to kind of cover up that spot right there in the middle, I think. There. Okay, there we go. Oh my gosh, and I am totally loving that linen thread. Well, no, it's not linen thread. It's the burlap ribbon that we pulled apart. So isn't that cool? Just, oh my God, adds a lot of, gosh, excuse me. Oh my gosh, that adds a lot of nice texture to our card. So I hope you enjoyed this card today. I hope you were inspired today. Make sure you check out my blog at www.gatheringinkspiration.com. I always have lots of fun projects on there. When you are on my blog, grab the host code that's on the right hand side so that when you're ready to go get any of these products that we use to make this card, shop on my website at amysuzanne.stampinup.net. Grab that host code. When you spend at least $50 in the online store and use that host code, I'm going to send you a handmade card. I always send you a handmade thank you card to any of my customers. But then if you spend over $50 and use that host code, then you also get a fun, like, special goodie surprise in the mail. You never know what it's going to be. So anyway, check that all out. Also on my blog, look for, I'm doing to-go kits. So look for those. Actually, if you search even like over on the right-hand side toolbar, there are labels, I think they're called. If you click on to-go kits, you'll be able to pull up the most current to-go kit that I have available. So if you enjoy my stamping, I'd love to offer you a to-go kit and get you some more stamping. So thanks so much for watching today. I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.